got really late. The underground was closed. I took out my phone and I was trying to find my way to my hotel, and I got mugged 3 times along the way. Now you may think this is an isolated incident, but in the UK alone, there are more than 9 million reported incidents per year, 80% of which can happen to you while you're walking on the street. Now the main problem is maps. Maps are great for finding your way to your destination. However, they lack one important aspect, which is taking safety into account. Our solution, which we call Safe Maps, aims to solve this problem by showing you risk areas along your route, next slide please, and adjusting the route such as to avoid those risk areas. Over the course of this weekend, we've identified 3 customer segments that we think are in need of such a solution. Students and young professionals living in a new city, as well as teenagers and their parents. Safe Maps will be available as a mobile app, available for purchase, and for this you'll get safe journeys for the rest of your life. Monthly subscriptions for added features like notifying friends of where you are and a panic button, and will also include the first 5 routes completely free. You may ask yourself, do you have competition? Yes, there are some applications that show you risk areas, show you incidents on a map, or keep you in touch with your friends, but none of them offer an integrated solution, and they lack one important aspect which we think is crucial for such an app, which is ease of use. And by this I mean the least amount of effort you need in order to use it. So if you take our iPhone app for example, it requires 1 tap to open it, another tap for your destination, and you're off. That's it. You don't need to interact with your phone anymore. We're going to enter the market through partnerships with the university and with the UK police. We've contacted 2 senior people from ECS, Joyce Lewis and Eric Cook, who are both very excited about the idea. They want to meet and see how they can help us spread the word, as well as Hampshire Police, with which we're meeting in 2 weeks' time to figure out how we can help each other out. In conclusion, over the past 2 days, we've successfully constructed the second MVP. We've gathered customer information, we've validated our revenue model, we found paying customers, and I'm happy to say that in a few weeks' time we'll be releasing our first prototype on the Apple App Store. This is us.
Your revenue model, how much revenue are you going to make in your first year?
We estimate 50,000.
50,000. How much of that comes from your first-time sale versus your?
Well, normally you pay around £3 for the app and another £3 monthly. So the monthly subscription is much more profitable than just the one-time off purchase.
What apps do you pay £3 for? £3 a month?
A lot. For
Name
example,
some.
Angry Birds.
No, it's £1.99, and only if you're billing us because he's using it right now.
It's £3. The latest versions are £3. Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
Dropbox, Mozy.
Yeah, the old ones, but the new ones.
And even the
Dropbox.
pack. Okay. Anyway, £3 a
No,
month.
we actually ask customers.
Spotify.
We would pay £3 for the app and £3 per month.
Data coming from
Spotify.
Tell me about the quality of the data.
It's from the UK police, it's using their API, it's open data from them. And the reason we want to discuss this further with them is that they publish on their Twitter feeds an event as it happens, so we were wondering that maybe they can also send it to us and we can help them out. Like,
do you think that there's a lot of data cleansing going to be needed?
Well, this is why we're plugging the police, so we don't have to do any data cleansing, because we can get it from the Twitter.
So one of the discoveries in open data, particularly about crime data, is there are particular corners of streets that are, you'd think that there was genocide happening, because all of the crimes in that area are logged to that particular police station.
That might happen.
Well, the API from the police is actually a specific.
No, this is live in the US, in, for instance, Seattle, and they found there are odd hotspots in Seattle, Washington, in Washington State, where all the crimes for an area are logged to a local station, because that's where the bobbies report back the data, not always where it is. So cleansing of data when you talk to them is important, but doable.
I'd also like to know how you're going to handle the PR issue when you have somebody who's used your route and gets mild or even
Obviously,
worse.
we'll let them know before they use it. This is just advice. It's not a replacement for keeping an eye out and.
I know you can give them the disclaimer, but the deal is that they're going to put it back up. I mean, this is the whole thing of the media, is they'll put it up there and badmouth you from now till the.
I guess that's inevitable. It will happen even if we have competitors that are willing to say that I got mugged even though I used it.
Who do you think your competitors might be? And answer that, particularly on the mapping side of the world. You've got the battle going on between Google, Microsoft, Apple. Where do you think the mapping companies, or TomTom?
Well, for example, on all the mobile apps, we'll use the native maps feature. So on iOS, we'll use Apple's, on Android, we'll use Google's. So it's basically we're using them, but we're providing an added feature, routing by safety as opposed to fastest.
And how proof is your business model against them doing the same? Because you've got to think of where threats might come to any business that you set up.
I guess that's inevitable. If Google decides we're going to do this, they're going to launch it in a month and go global.
Increase it
That's
and come up with extra features that will keep your business on top.
How much have you budgeted for the cost of developing this in the first year? If you're going to make 50,000.
Around 5,000 per month, including some infrastructure and us working with limited budget only.
Okay, so you just lost 10,000 to 20,000 the first year.
What was the 50,000 profit?
50,000
per month after the first year. That's why not a sum over the first year.
Okay, all right. How are you going to expand this? In other words, you're going to have to go to every police department along the way?
Well, there's only 21 in the whole country, so we can go to each police station, each district police, and talk with them.
One idea is to order them by their incident rate. So if London's the most dangerous city in the UK,
I do like the idea of tying this though to the new police commissioners, because there will be one person that you can go and talk to in those regions. So, do you know the elections for the new police commissioners?
No.
No, nor does anyone else in the world. But there'll be regions, and there'll be one person. On Thursday, you can vote for that person, and that person will have a vested interest in driving crime down in their area as one individual who is voted for. So interesting.
Have you also thought about maybe finding other data inputs as to what are safe areas and not so safe areas? Because I think the police data might be somewhat limiting and also not necessarily very timely.
One
If I'm
idea
a mugger, I'd say, okay,
exactly. One idea is to actually use crowdsourcing. So basically, if we direct them through a dark alley, they can basically say, no, there's no light on this street, and other people might notice.
Okay, last but not least, we have